Good morning, students. Today we will continue our history's fourth chapter from the topic impact of forest laws. जो जंगलों पर नियम और कानून बनाए गए उनका क्या impact हुआ. The tribal groups were directly connected to the forest, so changes in the forest laws has a considerable effect on their lives. हम सब जानते हैं जो ट्राइबल्स थे वो डायरेक्ट जंगलों से जुड़े हुए थे, तो जब फॉरेस्ट लॉज बने तो उनकी ज़िंदगी पर बहुत प्रभाव पड़ा उस चीज़ का. The British extended their rights over the forest and declared that forests were state property. अब ब्रिटिशर्स ने क्या किया, उनके राइट्स को हटा दिया और कहा कि जो जंगल हैं वो स्टेट की प्रॉपर्टी के अंदर आते हैं. स्टेट फॉरेस्ट वर टर्म्ड एज रिजर्व्ड फॉरेस्ट as they produced timber which the British required. In these forests, people were not allowed to move freely, collect fruits, practice jhum cultivation, or hunt animals. The jhum cultivator had therefore to move to other areas in search of work and livelihood. अब जंगलों को रिजर्व कर दिया गया. अब लोग उनमें से फल फूल नहीं तोड़ सकते थे, चीज़ें नहीं ले सकते थे अपनी ज़रूरत की. तो अब क्या हुआ, झुम नाम की जो जनजाति थी अब उन्हें भी जंगल छोड़कर कुछ और देखना पड़ा. As soon as the tribal people were stopped from living inside forests, the British officials faced a problem. Who would cut trees and provide labor to transport logs and railway sleepers? So the company officials came up with the solution. They decided to provide a jhum cultivators with a small patches of land in the forest and allow them to cultivate on the condition that those who lived on these lands would have to provide labor to the forest department. So the forest department were established to look after forest and ensure cheap labor. अब इन्होंने क्या किया, अब उन्हें लेबर नहीं मिल रही थी जंगलों में से काम करने के लिए, तो उन्होंने झुम प्रजाति वालों को कहा कि हम आपको ज़मीन के टुकड़े दे देते हैं, खेती करने की इजाज़त दे सकते हैं, आप वहाँ रह सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके बदले में आपको लेबर का काम करना होगा फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट के लिए. तो इस तरीके से उन्हें एक सस्ती और चीप लेबर जो थी वो मिल गई. द ट्राइबल पीपल रिएक्टेड टू दीज चेंजेस इन मैनी डिफरेंट वेज. दे डिसओबेड द न्यू रूल, रिएक्टेड वायलेंटली, एंड एट द टाइम्स रोज इन ओपन रिबेलियन. So this was the revolt of Songram Sangama in 1906, the Assam and the Forest Satyagraha in 1930 in the central provinces. अब क्या हुआ, बहुत सारे झगड़े हुए, लड़ाइयाँ हुई, आवाज़ें उठाई गई, ये सब चलता रहा इसके विरुद्ध. Trade. During the 19th century, traders and money lenders frequented the forest regularly, offering cash loans, buying forest produce, and forcing the tribals to work for wages. It took some time for the tribal group to understand the consequence of what was happening. In the 18th century, the India silk was the great demand in European markets. As the market expanded, the officials of the East India Company tried to encourage silk production to meet the growing demands. अब 18वीं सदी में जो हिंदुस्तानी सिल्क था उसकी बहुत डिमांड थी यूरोपियन मार्केट में. तब ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी क्या चाहती थी कि इंडिया में मतलब सिल्क की प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बढ़ जाए और जो डिमांड है उसको पूरा किया जा सके. सो इन हज़ारीबाग the Santhanas reared cocoons. The traders dealing in silk sent their agents who gave loans to the tribal people to collect the cocoons. The rupee 3 to rupees 4 for 1,000 cocoons. They were exported to Burdwan or Gaya. When they are sold at 5 times the price, the middlemen so called because they arranged deals between the exporters and the silk growers made huge profit. The silk growers earned very little. Many tribal groups saw the market and traders as their main enemies. तो अब क्या हुआ, अब जो ट्रेडर्स थे वो सस्ता खरीद कर महंगा बेच रहे थे, तो इस वजह से वह लोगों के दुश्मन बनने लगे. The plight of the tribals became worse as they had to move to far away places in search of work. From the late 19th century, tea plantations emerged. Large number of tribals were recruited to work for tea plantation in Assam and the coal mines of Jharkhand. The contractors who recruited them paid them very low wages and prevented them from returning home. अब ये अक्सर हर जगह पे देखने को मिल रहा था. चाय पत्ती की खेती के लिए जो उन्हें रखा जाता था बहुत कम तनख्वाहों पर, जो इंटरमीडिएटर्स थे वो पैसा खा जाते थे बीच में से. ये सब खेती करने के लिए और जो कोयल की खदानें थी उनमें काम करने के लिए लोगों को बहुत कम वेजेस पे रखा जाता था और उन्हें घर नहीं जाने दिया जाता था. तो ये सब चीज़ें होती थी लोगों के साथ. A saga of revolts. In 19th century, many tribal groups rose in the revolt against the exploitive policies of the British. The Coals rebelled in 1831 to 32. Santhalas rose in revolt in 1855. The Bastard Rebellion in Chhattisgarh broke out in 1910 and Worli Revolt in Maharashtra in 1940. So information about these revolts is available in a tribal legends like folk songs as well as government records. In some instances, the tribes regarded the leaders of the upsprings as God's representatives on earth. Other the hand, the British government record regard these revolts as unlawful activities to be suppressed with all forces. अब लोगों ने इसके खिलाफ बहुत सारे रिवोल्ट्स किए, बहुत सारी चीज़ों के लिए आवाज़ें उठाई गई। इसका जो मतलब वर्णन है वो कुछ गानों में ऐतिहासिक में मिलता है। हालांकि ब्रिटिशर्स ने इसको कोई वैल्यू नहीं दी, उनके हिसाब से सिर्फ लॉ का डिसरिस्पेक्ट था। सो दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट हैपेंड एट दैट टाइम. Birsa Munda. In 1895, a man named Birsa was seen roaming in the forest and villagers of Chota Nagpur in Bihar. So the people living there said that he had a miraculous powers. Sorry, he could cure all diseases and multiply grain. Birsa himself declared that God had appointed him to save his people from trouble and free them from the slavery. Soon thousands began following Birsa, believing that he was a भगवान and had come to solve all their problems. अब बिरसा जंगलों में घूमता उन्हें दिखा तो बिरसा ने खुद को भगवान बता के इंट्रोड्यूस करा। उसने कहा कि मैं भगवान हूँ और तुम्हें इन सब जो तुम्हारे पर अत्याचार हो रहे हैं इनसे छुड़ाने आया हूँ। तो हज़ारों लोगों ने ये बात मान ली और बिरसा का साथ देने लगे। In 1984, the failure of the monsoon caused widespread starvation and epidemics. Birsa dedicated serve to the sick and the starving earned him title to धरती अब्बा, father of the earth का title दिया गया उसे। Early in life, Birsa was influenced by a Vaishnav preacher. He wore the sacred thread and began to value purity and piety. He urged his followers to recover their glorious past, the Satyug age of truth. During the British rule, many non-tribals migrated to the traditional tribal areas and grabbed the land owned by the tribal groups. In due course, the tribals were compelled to work as laborers under the non-tribals. This system was locally called Beth Begari or forced labor. Birsa Munda strongly protested against the non-tribals occupying tribal land. He also disliked the money lenders and zamindaras who were ill-treated the Mundas. He advised the Munda farmer not to pay rent to the जमींदारा. अब उसने लोगों को उनके खिलाफ आवाज़ उठाने की हिम्मत दी, रेंट देने से मना किया, ज़मीनें वापस मांगने के लिए कहा. Birsa Munda started the revolt in Chhatangpur region. The main revolt took place in the region south of Ranchi. In 1899 to 1900, the movement came to be called Ulugan, the Great Tumult, and aimed at establishing Munda Raj by driving away the British. The entire Munda community joined together under his leadership. They attacked British officials, missionaries, and police stations. Many Munda men and women fighting with bows, arrows, and catapults fell to British bullets. Even children were not spared. On January 9, 1900, the rebels were defeated. Birsa was captured. In 1990, Birsa died of cholera and movement faded out. Nearly 350 Mundas were put on the trial and there 3 of them hanged. तो कुछ लोगों को पकड़ लिया गया. बिरसा जो खुद था वो मर गया जब युद्ध हुआ. बच्चों तक ने उसमें हिस्सा लिया. औरतों ने तीर कमान से सामना किया ब्रिटिशर्स का. तो ये सब हुआ. The government attempted to reduce the grievances of the Munda through settlement operations. The Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act of 1908 provided some recognition to the Khunkhati right and banned Beth Begari. Chota Nagpur tribals won a degree of legal protection for their land rights. तो अब उन्हें बेत बेगारी जो थी बंधुआ मजदूरी जो उनसे करवाते थे वो बंद हुई. थोड़ा उसमें गवर्नमेंट ने रिलैक्स किया और लोगों ने लीगली राइट मांगे अपनी ज़मीनों के. Besides the act, the government initiated several steps to bring the tribals and the administration closer to each other. The government officials were stationed closer to the Munda villagers so that they could quickly attend to the grievances of the tribals. The rebellion also contributed to the growing socio-religious consciousness among the tribals in Chota Nagpur. Birsa Munda was considered a hero. तो इतना ज़्यादा बदलाव जो सरकार की तरफ से आया तो वो कहीं ना कहीं बिरसा मुंडा की वजह से थी. तो इस वजह से जो बिरसा मुंडा था वो हीरो कहलाया. सम पीपल बिगिन टू कंसीडर हिम डिवाइन एंड बिगिन टू वर्शिप हिम. कुछ लोगों ने उसको भगवान माना और उसकी पूजा अर्चना की. However, the movement was significant in two ways. First, the British government introduced laws so that the tribal lands could not be easily taken away by the coups. Second, it proved the tribal people had the capacity to protest against injustice and express their anger against colonial rule. तो अब इसका अंत क्या निकला इस मूवमेंट का कि एक तो लोगों को लीगल हक मिले अपनी ज़मीनों के कि उनसे ज़मीनें खींची ना जा सकें, ज़बरदस्ती ली ना जा सकें, और दूसरी चीज़ ये दिखाई दी कि ट्राइबल्स में इतना दम था कि वो कॉलोनियल रूल के विरुद्ध अपना आवाज़ उठा सकें और अपने हक जो थे वो पा सकें. सो दिस इज़ ऑल अबाउट योर चैप्टर. बेटा, रीड इट केयरफुली एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस. So firstly read the chapter, understand the topics, then try to solve the questions.